So I haven't done a video in a very long time. There have been a lot of changes in my life. I still have, the condition that doesn't go away ever. So it is what it is. Although I don't like that saying very much. Changes here in Arizona are always up in the air. So if you flip a coin, it gets it. So, you know, I have stopped working because I was getting worse. And therefore, it was just not okay. Although now I started wondering why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, which has been really down and not motivated to anything. And I kept just wondering and kept thinking. Well, I finally realized in the morning, because I've been watching videos and I've been watching things that make me think. And the thing is that it is that I haven't mourned certain things. And I don't think people understand mourning is an important factor of getting over things and healing from them. I'm mourning from loss of, someone that passed away, right? Or a pet that passed away, or a loss of a friendship, or a loss of trust. Because when you do lose all these things, especially with someone feels so deeply like I do, I've always thought that the way that I do things was the reason that I was missing something. And I have been missing something. And I realize them. I really have done the work for myself. I recently went back to therapy, which helps a lot. And so therefore, it is natural to have these questions for yourself, whether, these things are part of your condition, right? Because that's what the doctors say. They always say, well, it could be psychological. And the reality, it isn't psychological. It is a factor of just things that are happening to you from your past. And that life is just so incredibly fascinating because it does affect you throughout your life. And the problem with that is that you tend to realize that there is these things where you're still very innocent from all the trauma that you've acquired. Because, trauma isn't like you go to the store and you buy some, and you figure out, well, I need to take like 10 of these or 5 of these. It doesn't work that way, right? It actually it accumulates based on the fact that it has happened to you, your experiences, right? And then you compartmentalize. Yeah, I'm having a little issue here. And I've always done that ever since I was young. And so therefore, it affects everything that you do and everything that you feel. And I've always had an issue with trusting people. And I've realized I also have an issue when I actually trust you and I believe in you. And, the thing is that life isn't as black and white. It has a multitude of colors, right? And when you realize this, then you realize that just because let me rephrase that, just because I was faithful to a human being doesn't mean that I have to be faithful to the person that hurt me the most. And so therefore, in my relationships, I've realized that it is not only the factor of these people, right, that affected me, but it also affected the fact that I believed them because they encompass this whole different type of mentality, right, that, well, if I show this person trust and love and all of this, right? But they have a mask in front of them at the top of it, right? Because the mask is what they're portraying, but the reality of their true face is on the other side of the mask. Then a person like me that in the beginning is starving for this, right? Not knowing that I was truly starving for trust and love and understanding of my circumstances, right? Of my need for love and affection. But not for me physically, not the person, not the adult, but for the child in me. Then it becomes something that I understand it's now deeper than that. And because I thought this person was someone different, someone older, right? Not by much, but then all of a sudden it's more like it's a betrayal. And not only a betrayal, but it is also, an understanding that you can't really trust anyone anymore, because then whenever they say, well, yeah, I have you, I got your back, I can take care of you in not the materialistic way, but in the more psychological, not spiritual, but emotional. And apparently when the rainbow colored glasses, right, of that break, for me anyway, and I see the true color of this individual, it literally broke something in me that I haven't had the time to actually process it. And I finally understood that, and I'm taking this as, the anniversary of my surrogate mom's birthday is coming up in the next few days, that it's a very big letdown, because I allowed it to happen. I opened up that door, and I gave this person another chance, an opportunity, thinking that, what maybe this person might be different because they're telling me they've grown, and in reality, it looked different, but it's the same, right? And I know this word is always like a big thing, but a narcissist is someone that it's all about them and what they want in their life, right? And if they can't get it, then they will make sure to either have you not have anyone around you, like make you the bad guy, so that they can be the only person that we run to, right? And that's what was happening, and I didn't understand it until it was happening. I was right in the middle, and I saw it for what it was. This time, again, no glasses anymore, and it was too late. I don't have any communication with family members in my life. Luckily, one of my family members still is in my life, and they advised me of what this person was doing or tried to do to them. And it affected my life in such a way that I still can't believe it happened. And it's broken inside of me in a way that I'm like, it's still there. Like the hurt and the betrayal and I just can't believe it. And people are like, well, you just need to let it go and you just need to move on by it. But it's deeper than that, because of the things that have happened to me. The little me is still trying to heal and understand that how can you have done this to someone that opened the doors to you and has been there for you, and try to encompass a relationship, right? And the grieving process doesn't take just days or weeks, or it takes a while. And so the loss is bigger than that, right? As well as something that I've learned in the last several months, which was forgiveness. And that was a big thing for me. And forgiveness in itself, you really have to go deep inside your roots of your own soul to understand what forgiveness is. It isn't about going to church. It isn't about, getting on your knees. It isn't about that. It is about finding that forgiving yourself for you, for that little person in you, for the little child in you to be at peace is a lot better than saying, well, I forgive you for what you did. It is more like you're at rest, you're at peace. You can go to sleep at night because you know that it wasn't your fault. So I've forgiven most of the people that have done wrong to me because I know that even though I have responsibility for certain things that I've done, that the major part of it wasn't my fault, when I was a kid. Therefore, this year, I made the decision, biggest decision of my life was that I forgave my mother, which was so intensely a monumental moment in my life. And that it just was a moment where I was here by myself and I just realized that I was ready to forgive her, that I had forgiven myself for understanding that it wasn't my fault. That it wasn't my fault that I was, born out of certain situations, right? That I was not wanted in a certain way, but I knew my father did want me. And that I was the scapegoat for her anger and hurt. And therefore, it wasn't my fault for everything that happened. So I could move on. And therefore, as soon as I did that, I felt such a relief and such a weight off my shoulders that I was over the moon by it, So I was ready to be able to look at life differently. I see the good in people. And this is why what this person did to me hurt me the most, because I was ready to. And I still am. I haven't closed that door. But to see the good in people, not always the bad. Because sometimes everybody makes mistakes. We're all imperfect, right? We're all human. We're not robots. And so therefore, we all fall once in a while, but we always get up. And we always have people that can understand that, and there are other people that can't understand that. So this affects our condition in such a way that we can't have a lot of emotions on us. So it's affected me in such a way because these emotions were so much that I haven't been able to do things. I started painting again and I started doing things, but then all of a sudden things happened in such a way that I was just hit emotionally from every aspect. I was hit financially from every aspect. And so now I'm like trying to figure out how to deal with all this emotion, how to deal with all this pain. And it's something that doing this is actually helps me, and I hope it helps you to understand that we go through all of this, right? It isn't only our pain, it isn't only our neurological condition that people can't see, right? And that we're not crazy, but at the same time is that there are people out there that understand us, that there are groups on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you have social media that you can reach out and you can talk to people that understand, because I have a group on Facebook that I follow where I can tell them, look, today I'm doing lousy, and they get it. They totally get it, So I hope that, I know this is going to be a long weekend for all of us. If you can stay home and rest, perfect. If you can't and you have to be with your family, take your time. Take it easy. Try to just, be flexible with yourself. Be easy with yourself. Have grace for yourself. And I hope that you have a great weekend. And I thank you for following me, for listening to me. If there's any questions I can answer, you can always leave a comment. Always, I'm here. I know it's been a bit, but I hope that that I'm still here, and I hope to do this more often. So I hope you have a great weekend. And again, take care of yourself. Have a lot of grace for yourself.